Welcome back to the Boiz. It's just Joseph today. I'm here in front of our celebrated wall of fame of all our famous guests who have been on the Boiz. Here doing something a bit different this week. We have a very special Austin, Texas theme episode of the Boiz. As some of you may know, if you follow me on Instagram, I was in Austin this weekend, and this podcast is going to be a recap of what went down, all the big scoops and all the big interviews and a bunch of other shit. This is what this is going to serve as. So stay tuned for this episode of the Boiz.
Kind of the number one Mothership comedy podcast. No big deal.
All right, so this past weekend was the first weekend of South by Southwest, which is a film and music festival hosted in Austin, Texas. That I traveled to with the intention of having a film in the festival. Sadly, that film was rejected, which honestly we should have seen coming, but that's fine. But the important thing is that I still went to the festival. That's why I'm making this video. Some things right off the bat. Ran into a good friend of the show, Elia. First day of the festival, he was there with the cast of Number One U.S. Family, which is a new cartoon coming out, starring Rami from the show Rami. I didn't get a picture with him because we're friends, we're dear friends at this point, so I didn't think to ask him for a picture. But here's proof that he was also at the festival. I have no proof that I ran into him, though. I could have just made that up. I didn't. I did run into him. You can ask him. He'd probably remember that. Okay, so moving past seeing Elia, there's some stuff that you should know if you want to go to South by Southwest. They tell you that the bracelets, they're a cheaper option than the badge. So the badge you have to wear around your neck, and those get you into like access for like the film screenings and everything. And they tell you the badges are secondary access, or the bracelets, but the bracelets won't get you into anything because of how many people want to go to the things with the badges. That might not make any sense. I'm just telling you now, if you go to South by Southwest, don't buy one of the bracelets because you're not going to get into anything. And if you do, it's not going to be anything good. So that was pretty much a waste. I waited in line for about 2 hours for the premiere of Friendship. I didn't get in. I saw Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. Can I get a selfie, Tim? Can I get a selfie? I think that works. Thank you, sir. And here's videos of that as proof. But let's get into the meat of the South by Southwest section of this video. So I was lucky enough to meet Dean Imperial, who it was a filmmaker, director of the film Caper, which was a film screening at the festival. I was lucky enough to sit down with him for an interview to talk about the film, to talk about filmmaking, to talk about other stuff. And we had about an hour-long conversation at the Austin Public Library. Who would have thought? I was so stressed out about where I was going to do these interviews. And then I remembered that the libraries just have rooms that you can go into and use. So that's what we did. I met him at the Austin Public Library. We shot for about an hour. Here's some of that interview. If you want to watch the full thing, it's going to be on the Patreon and the YouTube membership. So if you subscribe to those, you can watch our whole conversation. But here's pretty much the meat of the conversation, or what people would, what you guys would want to see. So let's take a look at that. All right, we're here at South by Southwest. I'm joined with filmmaker, writer, director, producer, actor. Yes. You're an actor?
I act too, yeah.
Sometimes?
Yeah. Rarely, but
Rarely?
I do it. Yes,
Okay.
if called upon. I have a a part coming up too that I'll tell you about also.
Okay.
Yeah. But primarily writer, director.
Okay. Dean Imperial, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to be here. Good to be
yeah,
here.
thank you.
Pleasure,
Thank you for coming here in the studio at the Austin Public Library. So you got this film premiere here at South by Southwest.
That's right.
Caper.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about the film.
Okay, so it's a. I always say it's comedy, but we didn't make it. We wanted it to be a film first.
Sure.
We knew it would be funny. We knew, and I wanted it to be genre specific. I was like, this is a comedy, a New York City comedy. And the premise is that it's a group of guys, essentially middle age, right? They get together every Friday night, one of those things.
Yeah.
And one day one of them was missing. And as it turns out, this guy is having an affair with a woman in his office. He's going through a divorce, right? And they're having some kind of really intense relationship where they're like into some, heavy kind of sexual stuff.
Okay.
So they're sending texts back and forth, and then he accidentally sends a really, explicit text to the boss.
All right.
And it was based on two true stories, two that we kind of combined. And his life is going to fall apart. Yeah. And he's paralyzed in his car downstairs, not knowing what to do. And he's essentially like suicidal. And his friends are like, we have to do something to help him. And they know that this woman who's his boss has a routine, and they've got 6 hours to figure out a way through people they know, people who they don't know, whatever, to try and find a way to get in and hack the message in any way, because the stakes are high, and so it's about their all-night odyssey trying to figure that. Okay, so it's all in one night. It's all in one night, yeah. And again, it's like it is a comedy, but when we were making it, I was like, we can't if we don't handle the emotional stakes with honesty, the movie's going to be straight up silly. Sure. And it does get silly because it's a silly premise. It's like a sitcom premise, but we referenced all the time Ingmar Bergman, because I said, really? Well, yeah, you know why? Because the emotional stakes have to be high. And Bergman, I said, we don't have any money. I have actors and I have faces. And I need to be able to read on their faces the gravity of the situation. Otherwise, this thing isn't going to work. And I said, the comedy will come. You can't play comedy for comedy. Right. So at the even when the movie does veer off into silly, which is still anchored in some reality, at the end, the stakes are still human and real. Yeah. And that was our true north, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we rehearsed for 3.5 months. The actors. Because we knew we weren't going to have time, and I also knew that with our budget, and also we have 6 leads essentially, and so they kind of have to be an organism. Yeah. And I was like, so these guys we all kind of essentially knew each other, and the rehearsals were essential to get the confidence of the performances, and also just to get their chemistry, because I was like, I want them bickering with each other a little bit, and that's what started to happen. Tension, friendship, bonding. So when we went to go shoot, it's funny, with the editor and I were looking at the footage and we were putting it together, we'd look and be like, sometimes what's happening in between the takes is identical to what's happening on screen. You know? Yeah, so that was the thing, man. Yeah. That's funny, because I run into that sometimes too. I have other co-hosts that I do this podcast with, and sometimes we'll just be talking, and we're like, we should just be doing the podcast right now. Like, what are we even totally for? Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, and then it's about listening. Yeah. That's the thing. So listening. Was there a lot of improvising, or was it strict? No, I mean improvising in the sense that we couldn't improvise. Okay. I wish we could have. It would have been nice. Improvising in the sense that actors would say, "Hey, can I say this or say that?" Yeah. And I would almost always say, Yeah, say that. But most of that happened in rehearsal first, because I said, look, sometimes an actor would do that when we're shooting, and I'm like, if that, we have 3 takes. Yeah. I'm like, but I would always want to sneak it in, and I figured if the rehearsals were as aggressive as they were, you're getting your takes out of the way first. It's like I always wanted a Kubrick or Fincher, I like the 20, 30 takes, but we couldn't afford it. So that's what the rehearsals did.
Okay.
But the actors, I would let some of the best lines in the movie are the actors.
Okay.
And because once they're deep in the role and they know their lines, then they start getting creative.
Yeah.
So it was during rehearsals that there would be maybe sometimes a little improv, and we'd go, "Can I say that?" Yes. And then when we were shooting, though, it was too tight.
Okay.
We couldn't play around with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was reading online. You started writing in 2021 the script.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was one of these things where I write for TV primarily, and there was
Godfather of Harlem.
Godfather of Harlem is one of the shows I wrote for. Then Hotel Cocaine, and previously Imposters, and then there was a show called San Pedro that never got off the ground, but I was in the writers' room for that. And so COVID happened, and we lost a couple people that we went to college with. I graduated in 2000, and I'm 48 right now. And what happened was friends started reconnecting.
Okay.
And texting and sending photos of the people we lost, this and that, people we hadn't talked to in a while. And so what happened was my friend Christopher Tramontana, who essentially plays the lead, he's our the audience's kind of entry point into everything. So it's an ensemble, but so anyway, we were talking, and we both live in the city, and we both are still in the business, and a lot of people we knew from school didn't continue, or they were still dabbling or whatever.
Yeah.
But we were like, we should get together. I mean, we haven't talked in all these years, and it was one of these things where you have a friend that you used to hang out all the time with in college, and life just takes you certain places, and then you reconnect, and it's almost like not a second went by.
Yeah.
There wasn't even that moment of oh my God, man, it's so good to see you. We rolled in as if we were back in the dorm, or as if we were, and we were talking, and I used to say to him, so he's an actor, and he was getting typecast in a lot of these roles because he kind of has in these Mesopotamian kind of roles, because he's Italian and he's got this kind of Mediterranean look, and he can play all different. And he's like, God, I'm just getting typecast in these kind of roles where I'm playing a terrorist or this and that. And I don't get. And I said, yeah, no, you need to play yourself, because that's when you're really good. And he said, I know. I don't know. So he said, I'm thinking about doing the short film if you have some time. And I'm like, well, I have time, this and that. And then the other guy, Richard Cooper, who I made a project with called Hammerhead, that was at South by. It was an independent pilot, much smaller project, but we made one in 2019, and he's a guy who I've continued to work with over time, because he's a producer and he became an actor. He's in the film, and he also is a writer. Okay. And so we've always worked on projects. And what happened was I was talking to him about doing something fast and cheap, because I was eager to get back behind the camera. Yeah. So I fused the two things, and I knew that they both had similar stories about these incidences with guys they knew, and smartphones and text messages. Yeah. So I just came up with this fuller plot that would incorporate them. And I said, you know what, the three of us should get together. I have a feeling. And so that was in 2021. And then what happened was, so we all started talking about it. I wrote a bunch of pages, and I included other actors that I was like, oh, well, they'd be good as a part of the chemistry. Yeah. And so I literally just wrote it in their voices, and I wrote 10 pages, and I got a rehearsal space, got everybody together, and we read through these initial pages. And then, I got a job, and we had to put it away. And then Chris got a job, and then I'd work on it with Richard Cooper, and then Chris would read it, and I took command of the script. Yeah. And then I put them together at a time when I was working, and so we just organically did it over, but there were gaps in between, which was helpful. So yeah, it started in 2021, and by summer of 2023, it was pretty much where it needed to be. And then the strike happened, which opened the door for me to have the time to, to be able to work on it, because it was a low enough budget, certainly at the beginning, where we fit within the waivers. Okay. So we weren't breaking rules. Okay. And so Christopher was the one who sent the dick pic? No, he didn't send the dick pic. It was a guy he knew that we went to college with, and I can't name who it is, who he accidentally sent a text to his girlfriend, which was with another woman that he was clearly with, and they didn't live together. She lived with roommates, and he tried to get in. He got in and tried to get the phone, got caught. It was bad. And then the other situation was, and I don't reveal too much, but Rich Cooper knows a group of people in recovery, and they take care of each other, you know, and they're all different ages, and one of them, a similar situation, sent to his fiance by accident, and it was meant for another girl, right? And it was straight up dick pic, and it made no sense that it would go to her, and she was living with her parents at the time in a nice building. And so, you know, when you're on the edge like that, if you're in like recovery or whatever, it's like very fragile. And then he was doing well, and his whole life was going to fall apart. And so the guys band together, and a lot of the things that happened in the movie happened. And but what happened in the end, they failed. But that relationship was recovered. Thankfully,
they failed in real life, not in the movie.
They failed in real life. Well, you see the movie. I'm not going to say anything about the movie yet.
You have to see the movie.
You have to see the movie and see where we took it. And I don't want to reveal what's really happened, what didn't happen. But it was enough there where you'd go, wow, like that actually happened, you know. And I'm like, yeah, because the vulnerability and the desperation is real. We had our premiere last night, and we sold out. It was great. And we were having a very aggressive ground game, getting posters everywhere, flyers everywhere.
I was walking through the convention center earlier, and I saw a bunch of your posters. So.
Yeah, because the idea is we don't have any stars. So we have to get it in we have lawn signs and things, and you know, because I said for the investment, like if we're all going out here. I had said like we need a ground game early, because somebody's going to take one of these teams. And I said, so we need to be smart, and we need to get this team. And we've got a guy who's doing a terrific job, you know, just papering it everywhere. And I said, we got, you know what, we've got to do everything we possibly can to get people into the seats at the very least. Because it's a hard sell when there's no name in it. You know? So far the festival's great, but I mean, you know, I'm here for another 5 days. You know, so let's see how the rest of it goes.
So can you talk a bit about like getting the funding for the film and like how that whole process went?
So we had the financing at first because Richard Cooper, who invested in Hammerhead, who's also in the film, he was able to finance that whole project. Which was great. So, and you know, people who invest in things, it's like, you know, there's ebb and flow, and you know, so at first it seemed like, okay, he might be able to cover it all. And then as time went on, we got closer, it was like, well, he said, it's a little tougher than I thought, I'll be able to put in some. So we were like, okay, well, we need at least, I mean, talking figures, is that right? Like, we need at least 170 to pull this thing off on some level. Okay? And he was like, well, I can't get that. So I had already cast, I mean, I call her an actress. She's more than an actress, but she's more like this. This is as New York City as you can get. Okay. When I graduated college, I became a stand-up comic first, but before that, somebody recommended I go to an acting teacher, a private teacher who would teach and coach, like name people, which I had to audition to be in. So I went to this class, and I met this woman, Ann Klaus, and we became friends instantly. And she was a stand-up comic also, which is one of the reasons why I got into it. And she started this little improv group in her apartment on 34th Street in Manhattan. And she'd bring all different types of people in, and we would improvise. And some of them were writers, some of them were actors, some of them were comedians, and it would be like 5 or 6 people every week. I think it started on Tuesdays. And anyway, we would do that, and over time, like, you know, we developed all these relationships. And so she was cast in the film, and she had always wanted to invest in something for this group of people. But I didn't think to ask her, you know. And then my significant other, Tessa, my girlfriend, who's also, I met her in this woman's group, improv group, and she's very close with Ann, you know. She said, well, maybe Ann wants to do it, and maybe I'll produce it, because I know Ann's not going to get into the nitty gritty. So she was able to cover the first chunk of money. Then, of course, as we got Andy Zolid, our producer, was working at a soundstage, and things were slow because it was the strike. So we were able to use that space in Long Island City as an office, Long Island City, New York. And the space itself, which is run by a fellow named Joe White, he was seeing clients still that were doing like a lot of car commercials and things in there. But he said, well, you should make this your office because it'll be good for things to be going on. And it was cool. Yeah. So, but once that started and you start adding, like, you get your DP, you bring in another producer, you say this, but price starts going up. Yeah. So we started getting investments from and the whole time we're rehearsing. So actors were then putting in a little money here and putting a little money there and this and that. And then a company named Vision, who we knew through one of the actors, Ace James, had taken an interest in our independent pilot Hammerhead years ago, and was interested in seeing if they could get it off the ground or what have you. But then they read this script while they were like, what are you doing? And we sent them the script and they were like, so they invested in it and pretty much doubled the budget. Oh shit. Yeah. So all of a sudden we were at like, 4 or something. Okay. And then we were able to finish the movie on that. And then when we got into post, we had some money to spend. Okay. And then even then, I mean, just the money just keeps going up and up and up. But we got to $550. Okay. And we shot it in 15 days. Damn. Yeah, but I mean, I love stand up, and I mean, I don't go see it much anymore now because it's like once you lived it and then you do it, it's like. Right. But I still will watch the classic stuff. Like I love all the old Richard Pryor films, and I will watch Seinfeld. I love his work. Okay. Yeah, I was a big fan of the show, and so that's sort of what got me into like TV and stand-up, I guess, as a kid. Was I just loved the show. Well, it's funny. One of the things that I have to send you I'll send you the film. Okay, yeah. Because we just had a review, and they called it Eyes Wide Shut meets Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, yeah. And one of the actors in it, Richard Cooper, they keep referring to him as a Seinfeld. There's something very Seinfeld about the film, and I love, and so it was a big influence. So it's like this combination of like, a kind of hard-edged cinematic approach and Seinfeld, There was that episode where George tried to break into the girl's apartment. That's right. And I had forgotten that episode. I had totally forgotten that episode, but it was as we were writing. And is that the one that ends with, he goes in and he gets caught, right? Yes. And is it the one that ends with him and the rye bread? Like what's the one that ends with him and the fishing pole and the rye bread out the window? I don't know why I associated those two. I don't remember that. Okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, somebody mentioned that. And then somebody mentioned, which was one of the other influences for real, which was in Sideways, when Paul Giamatti runs back in to get he actually breaks into the people's house to get the wallet for Thomas Hayden Church because he was sleeping with that waitress and he had to crawl in and break in. So that, but there's something very Seinfeld about the movie. Yeah. So I love the show. Yeah. Okay. This is fantastic. Yeah. Thanks for doing this. I love this. Absolutely. This is a real pleasure. Distribution, are you guys working on that, or is that? Definitely work on it. I'm with CAA, and they're coming tomorrow to the screening. And we have a great publicist, Lee Meltzer, and we're working on it. Okay. So it's tough without any names. Yeah. Okay. Very low budget and no names. So it's a tough sell, But we'll figure it out. To me, it's always the building block. I'm hoping this one helps make the next one. Sure. But not yet. Okay. Not yet. All right. Well, guys, make sure to follow Dean wherever. I'll link below, and then people can follow you and stay tuned and see it. Excellent. Thanks for doing this. It's my pleasure, man. This was fantastic. Yes, it was.
That was a riveting conversation, truly. Like, I learned so much about filmmaking and suicide and all of that from this conversation. So, yeah, if I don't know what the future is going to be for Caper, but if it comes out and you're able to see it, you should definitely see it. I still haven't seen it, which it's fine. I tried to go to the premiere. Here's a fun story. I tried to get to the premiere, and I was running a bit late. And when I got there, they told me that it was all filled to the brim. And I said, no, you don't understand. The director, he saved me a ticket. He told me that I can come. And they said, fuck off, kid. This is for only us. And so I had to fuck off after that. They didn't actually say that, but it just makes for a better story. I didn't see the film, but I will see it, and I will give my honest opinion at it at some point. But yeah, so let's move off of South by South. Is there anything else I want to say about South by South? Oh yeah, I did this interview, and then I got an email from the people who I did the interview with that they fucked up the audio and it wasn't recording, but they still sent me the footage. So here's some of the footage without any audio, and they asked me if I can come back and do it, and I was like, I'm on my way to the airport. I'm not going to come back to do your little interview thing. So yeah, here's some video without any audio of my conversation about using video in the workplace, I think. So yeah, that was a fun conversation. What else? I went to a seminar. I was looking for seminars around podcasting because I thought it'd be a good way to network with people. And so I was sent to this seminar about podcasting, and I walk in, and there was a much more of a womanly crowd than what I'm used to. But I didn't take notice to it because I don't care. Women can sit in crowds too. But then they started the presentation and they said, "Thank you for coming to the Future of Women in Sports Podcasting seminar." And I was like, none of these words apply to me. I will gain no value coming to this. So I had to sneak out of that one. And I was thinking when I was sneaking out, they're probably going to say, like, once I leave, oh, that man is he probably hates us and he probably hates women and that's why he left. And they'd be right. That's why I left. So what else? Kill Tony. That's the big thing that you do in Austin. If you're a comedian, you're a comedy fan. I signed up for Kill Tony, and I didn't get on, obviously. I guess it wouldn't be obvious because that episode hasn't come out yet, but yeah, I didn't get on. It's like the odds are impossible to get onto that show. I signed up for the open mic at the Mothership, and I also didn't get onto that one. And I hear that there might be some conspiracies about like why people don't get on that one. I don't give a shit. I'm not going back there anytime soon. I don't really give a fuck. But this Kill Tony thing. So this is a whole production. Like, it's a whole thing. I had to like go to a place and then go to another place and like went up these stairs, and we weren't allowed to film inside of like where they were making us wait, because I was going to film some content in there, but I was told no, that they'd take your camera away and they'd like kick you off of Kill Tony. And I actually thought I had a chance, so I didn't want to film and risk it. But it was cool. I ran into, some Michigan people, Mason Bird, friend of the show, recent guest on the show who now lives in Austin. Ronnie Rohrbeck, also recent guest and a longtime friend of the show. Dan Grinnell, and Jason Vest, who's never been on the show, but he's certainly a friend of the show. He had commented on a TikTok I had posted making fun of Uncle Laser, and he said that something about how, like, it's mean that we were hating on Uncle Laser for not being funny. And then when I saw him in person, I said, I'll tell Uncle Laser to his face I don't think he's funny. And then Uncle Laser just happened to be in the same room that we're in. And I was like, obviously, I'm not going to go fucking tell this guy to his face I don't think he's funny, because that'd be rude. I did, just so you guys know, just with this for the P fans only, I did for a moment think, just because I'm such a real ass motherfucker, I should go tell him I don't think he's funny. And then I was like, there's what would be the point of that? That'd just be rude, just walking up to a guy and say like, hey, I don't think you're very funny. Like, well, there's no point in doing that. So I didn't do that. If he's watching this, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know. I just don't It's not my cup of tea. I don't have a problem with him personally. I didn't talk to him. You know, I held my ground that way, where I didn't like walk up to him and say like, you know, take a selfie with him or something, which other people were doing. So yeah, I just didn't get involved with any of that. Yeah, if you watch the show, you know I'm not the biggest Kill Tony fan, and I often criticize Kill Tony, but I felt as though being in Austin on a Monday night kind of constitutes, you know, doing Kill Tony. Like this, you kind of have to do it if you're there. And so I signed up, and I didn't want to do it. I texted Kevin, friend of the show, Kevin Rodriguez, that I didn't want to do it, and I relate to how he was feeling prior to his Kill Tony appearance, because it's just a weird thing. I didn't want to get involved in it, but I sort of felt like I had to. So anyways, we did the Kill Tony thing. We weren't allowed to shoot content in the room, so we shot some content outside. Quick, you know, disclaimer, the footage that we shot was out of focus, so it wasn't great footage. But I talked to a couple of Mason's friends, a couple of, you know, Austin comics. One of them, Billy, who his episode of Kill Tony premiered this week. So shout out him. He might watch this. I don't know. Billy, if you're watching this, leave a comment. Give it a thumbs up. Yeah, and like with the last interview, if you want to watch the full version of this conversation, you can go to the Patreon or the YouTube membership, check it out. But hey, let's cut to Joseph on the streets of Austin with Mason Bird and other people talking about Kill Tony. Are we all in the shot? All right, we're doing a mini P-Boys outside of the Mothership and Shakespeare's. Longtime friend of the show, Mason Bird. What's up, man?
What's up? Okay. Do I keep it here? I'm sorry.
Whatever.
Yeah, what's up? We're on 6th Street with it.
Yeah, we're here with Billy.
What's up? How's it going? How's it going, guys?
Yeah. Tell us about yourself, Billy.
I am originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. I moved here in September, and my debut episode of Kill Tony will be on tonight.
Look at that. Oh, shit. So, wait. Okay, so it's not today you're going to be on, but you're the one that
I recorded 2 weeks ago will be on debuting tonight.
Okay. Nice. That's awesome. Mason, how's Austin treating you?
It's nice. You know, I'm starting to get booked on things. It's definitely a big pond.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder out here, a lot more mouths to feed, but
right.
Just got to go for it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Billy, what do you want to talk about?
How did you guys become friends? How did that start? I don't even know anything.
I don't know. We never really hung out a lot.
We just know each other from the scene.
Yeah.
We've always been kind to each other.
Yeah.
Like
I've always liked you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always been nice.
Less and less like
it's just
less and less like friendship.
No, we're good. We're good friends.
Yeah, we're good friends.
We're good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an official P-boy already.
Yeah, he is a P-boy.
I'm already a P-boy.
Yeah.
I just thought he was going like, you've never hit me. I don't owe you any money.
No, in the Detroit scene, like, you know, we've been through a lot together.
Right.
We've been through a lot.
Right, yeah. Late nights at New Way, you know.
Not getting on at the Indy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen me so mad before. Walk into the Indy and just storm out. It's happened.
It's funny. Are you friends with Mason?
Yeah. Which you're Mason?
Yeah.
Well, I guess today we just got acquainted, so I don't dislike him.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I don't. You know, he's a very handsome young man.
I try.
It's like, you know, he's got like, you got kind of a razor edge to you. You know, like you're smart, but you're also like, you look like you could stack on top of somebody. You know what I mean? Like if they said the wrong thing.
No.
Just three friends hanging out.
It's true. It's called the Peabody. What is the name of this?
The P-Boys.
The P-Boys. Now, is that like a urination thing, or is that?
No, a lot of people think that, and I called it that because I thought people would think that, but it has nothing to do with urine or peeing.
Okay. Because like also it's P-Boys and it's Sherman. My last name's Sherman, so Peabody, Sherman. Maybe you could throw that in there. I don't know. Just thinking of things.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, I don't know why you would be, but why you would be at this moment, but we're here with Billy and Mason. Mason, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about.
Have you done a show at the Mothership yet?
Yeah, I did the open mic.
Oh, nice! Look at that.
I had a really good time. I got like a glance from at it. You get like a head nod, and I haven't got on yet since, so probably not that good then. But that's little boy open mic. Yeah, I did the open mic. It's awesome. It's like the best room for comedy I've ever been in.
Really?
Low ceilings, beautiful.
Is this guy your friend too?
Yeah, Nick Hartley. Come to the P-Boys.
Yeah, do you want to join the P? You want to become a P-boy?
We're just scared the ladies.
We scared the ladies.
Scaring the ladies away. Don't worry, I was about to. So.
Is that your name?
Yes, sir.
Joseph. Nice
Joseph, pleasure to meet you, man.
to meet you. Welcome to the P-boys.
P-boys.
What do you want to talk about?
Man, let's do what we always do. Let's talk about some P. All right, let's get it.
That's what we're not talking about.
Yeah, P-boys.
They wanted to do the N-word earlier.
Nah, man. Here's what I want to talk about. Let's get serious. Let's get funny. Let's talk about some God. How about that?
God.
God.
We talk about that a lot on the P-boys too.
We do, really.
Like, speaking of God, what do you think about Israel and Palestine? Speaking of God.
Well, look, I don't think anything about Israel and Palestine. I'm really talking about how much I hate Hawaiians right now. Yeah. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Good to meet you.
Nice to see you there.
But anyways.
Guys, if you're not going to kill Tony, go to Sick Jokes from Can't Even Comedy.
Oh, damn, that's actually a sick lineup, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that is a pretty good line.
Yeah, I wanted to shit on it, but I couldn't.
Did somebody just hand you that right now? Okay.
Don't worry, they'll hand you another one later.
Right. And they won't remember. They'll just be like, here you go. You want to come in? You want to come in here?
Join the P-boys?
You want to be a Peabody?
You want to be a P-boy? Yeah, that's fine. We got 5
Yeah, we got time. What time is it?
Sick.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Anthony Ron, everybody.
He said I can introduce myself.
All right, this is Anthony Ron, everybody.
Anthony.
What's up?
To meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the P-boys.
Thank you.
You're officially a P-boy now.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited to be a P-boy. A Peabody?
You're a P-boy. Well, you can be a Peabody later.
Okay.
He was also on Kill Tony.
Yeah?
I was on Kill Tony.
Yeah, you were on Kilt. I saw
Did
your
you fight
episode.
anyone?
No, I got a DUI.
Oh, okay.
That was my thing.
Because of Kill Tony?
Oh, no. No, now everyone calls me the Hamburglar, though.
Really? Why?
Because I got a DUI and I put McDonald's in my pockets.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The
Less than a
burgers.
hamburger or something.
The burgers.
No, that's
he had
honestly
burgers
less
in his
embarrassing
pocket.
than what actually happened.
Well, we were saying Chubby Behemoth is probably now the biggest.
Sent down to Denver guy. At what point does he convert to a Detroit guy?
Well, because the podcast is based in Detroit now.
Oh. And Sam Talent is the literal biggest comic in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's
He's literally the biggest.
he's literally the biggest.
He's Nashville's fucking. Who's that guy from Nashville again?
Kevin Rodriguez?
No, not Kevin Rodriguez. The hairy mullet guy. I know him very well.
Mullet guy?
Yeah.
Theo Von.
Musket Fire. Theo Von. There it is. Yeah. I have a bad thing with names.
Yeah, he's in Nashville now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sugar Bear.
Man, I botched that for all your million viewers. Fuck. God damn it.
This is the #1
Damn
Michigan
it,
podcast.
no.
Chance of hanging out with Sam Talent, dude.
No, I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
What's going through your guys' head for Kill Tony tonight?
I'm not getting on.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to be here right now. I really hate this feeling.
Hey, now you know what it's like to be in Austin.
Joe's funny.
Man.
I just want to say that.
Thank you, Mason. You're funny too.
Joe is a funny guy. I'll stand up and say it.
Thank you.
Is this that time? Yeah,
We
it's
should.
time.
You guys
We
want to play
should.
anything?
Let's see. I'm doing Cap City next weekend. What the fuck date is that? 17th?
17th,
Sorry, the 16th?
16th.
Come out.
Cap City. I'll be starting a podcast soon, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It's gonna be a debate thing. It's gonna be really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a Billy.
Yeah, I'm just on the Let 'Em Cook Comedy Game Show Festival here Wednesday night. Come out. You guys should all come out. You'll get
I'm not
time.
gonna be here, but
that's right.
I'll tell people to come out.
Just delay that flight and
if
stay
you want
here.
to see Billy say the N-word, come here Wednesday.
Come here
night.
and I might say it.
Yeah. All right. Big peace.
All right, that was such a great conversation with new and old friends. It was that was a good clip. This, in spite of the blurriness or the unfocusedness of the video quality. Yeah, so that was for the most part the Austin, like my time in Austin. I'm not good at like travel vlogs or like doing any of that. I'm not even really good at doing this that I'm doing right now. This feels like unnatural for me, like being here by myself, like talking about what I did. It doesn't feel right, but I needed content. I need content for the channel, so that's what this is. I needed like stuff. I needed a reason, I guess, to like go to Austin, and that felt like a good reason, getting content for the channel. So that's what that was. That's what this video is. Comment down below if I should do more videos like this,
or where I should do videos like this for next. You know, should I go to Chicago or New York or other places? If I shouldn't, then just leave a comment that like this wasn't a great video, and then I just won't do this again. Do you miss the rest of the P-Boys? Leave a comment down below. Do you want to what else? Check out more of our shit? Yeah, subscribe. Yeah. Fucking, I don't know. I hope you like the video. Watch more. I'll see you guys soon. Big peace.
Out of the #1 Metro Detroit Comedy Podcast, Big Neil.